Black Star is, Black Star is, Black Star is.
It's the Black Star kickback, kickback. 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 Kick back your feet, stimulate your mind, roll you up some green, sip you on some wine, open up your ear for what you like one time. We talk about every issue underneath the sun, health, relationship, goal, prep, and current events, lives changing thought patterns and paradigms, bitcoins and the come up, observing behaviors is what we really do. Talk about them uncomfortable truths with the famos. When we come together, we call it a demo. Subscribe, like, and share with your kinfolks and let them know. Productive, progressive, constructive conversation right here on Black Star Kickback.
Black Star is.
Gang, it's the Black Star Kickback where we talk about every issue under the sun, health, relationship, goals, prepping, ideas, current events, and thought patterns. Today we got the famo Hebrew warrior Perry and Kevin G, and I'm the host, Resh G, aka Asir Resh. And Perry came and posed a question as far as could the God body stop the expansion of the Bloods in NYC? I thought it was a great question. As far as from what my understanding, I'm not too much in tune or familiar with the 5% Nation and everything. From my understanding, it was a positive thing in New York. They was gaining ground as far as creating bonds between the brothers and sisters out that way. And from my understanding, the Bloods that's in New York started in prison. So from, my assumption, I would have thought that, the God body would have had more impact in the prison system or those that were in there. Because from my understanding, the Blood started out that way as a reaction from the Hispanic gangs. I don't know if this is all hearsay, she say, or whatever. I'm not from New York. But from my understanding, or from an assumption, I would think that the God body would have held that down there, which would have probably made some brothers leave that situation more on a positive note versus coming home with the red rag. I'm gonna open the panel up. Anybody can jump in here and there and give me their thoughts on the whole situation as far as New York and the Bloods, just basically the explosion of it.
Yeah, I definitely think they could have stopped it because when like you said, you was correct when you said that the Bloods got started in prison on Rikers Island in New York around 1993, and you was also correct when you said it started because of the oppression that they was going through as far as the Latino gangs is concerned. But the thing is, the 5%ers, they was established in the prison, but they didn't really care too much about the neutral cats. If you wasn't a guard body and you happen to be black, they wasn't gonna try to really hold you down like that. So I think that's one of the reasons why the Bloods got started. A lot of those neutral dudes that was black, that was locked up, they didn't have no real organized protection from the Latin Kings or the Nietas or whatever. So, and they wasn't gonna get it from the guard bodies because they wasn't guard body.
Right. So, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the whole area as far as New York. The ones that I have ran into, they seem very open. So I don't know the whole, relationship between. Did they look at where you say the neutrons? They wasn't even. No, come on now. You really think that was a problem? I think that would be like recruitment. If I was a thought, that would be like on the level of recruitment. So you saying God bodies in the joint, they a small force and they just keep to themselves type of situation, or do they play the holy role or whatever in there, and then on the block they keep it on the, or I don't know, I ain't trying to talk
Nah,
shit.
they
I'm
was
just trying to
nah, they
understand
was
the New York section as far as
nah,
the vibe.
they was gangster. Like they was, if you was God body, you was gonna be good. If you was Muslim or God body, you was gonna be good. But I guess that wasn't everybody's taste. You know what I'm saying? Like some neutrons, they didn't want to give up pork, or you know what I'm saying? That just wasn't their thing. They wasn't really feeling the whole Islam thing. Some of them could have been Christians, you know what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, they didn't want to become God body, and with the whole God body thing, when you first turn God body, you gotta fast for like 72 hours. You gotta give up certain foods. I mean, like God bodies. I remember they would beef. If you was a God body and they caught you eating a honey bun, you might get beat up because they'll say, that honey bun, God, that shit got pork in it, it got yellow 5 or something like that. So, a lot of dudes was just regular cats. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't really with that, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But the blood things seemed appealing to them because they didn't have to do all that extra shit to be blood. They could just be a regular street nigga that they was, and what I'm saying, holy thing. But yeah, it was a lot of neutrons. I think if the God bodies would have stood up for the black neutrons, like you said, they would have got more numbers. But for whatever reason, they kind of looked at it like it's not my problem. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So would you say that
But they were strong. They were strong. They were
so
strong.
would you say the Bloods in New York is probably like they ain't got no rules and regulations to the shit? I mean, and I don't know. I just see that the God body. I would think that, like, what I'm saying, like those brothers was on some real on point stuff. I guess from my understanding, they the one first that said something about being nations, building nations or whatever on the East Coast. Other than the Hebrews, I'm talking about as far as like street dudes or whatever and shit like that. As far as putting nations behind it, you would think that they would actually hold title to the definition of it. So, okay, so basically you could say the Bloods is like basically a reaction to, being
Like the
rejected.
Bloods. Yeah, like it was some dude from the Bronx. I forget his name, but he started it. He claimed to have, family from out west, and he didn't like what was going on. What I'm saying, in certain houses. What I'm saying, he didn't like what was going on to the blacks by the Latinos, so he implemented the whole blood thing. And I believe it started in 2 Main and OBH. You know what I'm saying? Within like a year or two, the Bloods just took over damn near the whole Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? Then that shit started spreading up north to the real prisons where people go to serve their time. I'm just saying, I think.
So as far as the Bloods out that way, I don't know how it is. I know in Chicago for a certain time, well, I can't say certain time. It still happens like, certain organizations like do like school drives, kind of, even though it's a negative for the media on some neighborhoods, they actually do, put back. So would you say is the Blood, did they take the place as far as the God body, as far as putting food on the table in certain areas, as far as, it didn't just start in the joint at all. Was it like that on the street too? You know what I'm saying? As far as things, if you ain't
I mean,
God, I ain't fucking with
you had certain crews like up in Soundview, up in the Bronx, where they took over like the whole neighborhood under a cat named Peter Guns. And I'm pretty sure he was doing stuff like that for his hood. You hear about him doing charitable works and things like that, but not on the level of the
Peter Guns, the rap dude.
nah, it's another cat named Peter Guns. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, his name wasn't Peter Gunn. His name was Pistol Pete. My
Yeah,
bad.
I heard of Pistol Pete. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a real thorough cat. He was a killer.
yeah.
Wasn't he a hooper too though? Wait, no. No, we won't think about somebody else. That was a hooper in the hustle.
Nah. He was a dude from Sample. He had a reputation for killing niggas. He happened to go to jail in '93, and he was on the island, and he was so thorough that the blood niggas, you know, they recruited him, and he was such a thorough dude that they said, you know, he was like, look, man, you know, I need my own set, cause I control like a whole fucking project, you know what I'm saying? And Soundview was like really, really big, so they gave him his own set, you know, Sex, Money, and Murder,
Yep.
and then they that shit went out into the street. I think he, you know, I credit him with really bringing the Bloods into the street, you know, from the jail to the street like that, because that dude had so much power in that area of the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? He was able to do something like that. You dig?
So
But all I'm saying is, yeah, I just think like if the guard bodies stood up more for the neutral cats, then it really wouldn't have been a reason for you know for even Bloods to really even exist over here. You know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, we can't say. I mean, that's. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know the whole ideology, the creed. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. I'm saying as far as like,
But
shit,
for
if
one,
it was for the Nation of Islam, shit, that could be the same thing for Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if that's the, you know.
but from
So
what I
it's like
learned,
maybe
though,
God body just like let them. You know, I could see that too.
It just was like the guard bodies just had a mentality that was like, if you ain't one of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even you don't call on Allah. So, you know what I'm saying, we ain't really fucking with you like that. You know. They just think, you know, they called neutrons 85s. And yeah, if you wasn't one of them, you know, they wasn't gonna jump in. They wasn't gonna try to hold the nigga down and that like that. You know, and that kind of, like I said, every dude wasn't on that righteous, you know, you know, not eating pork and you know, learning your lessons and you know, knowing, you know, what's the day's math and all that, how much the earth weighed and all that type of shit. A lot of a lot of black dudes wasn't into that. They just was regular street niggas. When the blood shit came up, that was more up their alley. And you know, pretending to be a dude that's all into the knowledge and all, you know, because that was the God body thing. You know, they fuck niggas up, but they was into the whole knowledge thing, and you know, and that didn't. Some brothers wasn't feeling that. You know, some dudes wanted to be savages. How the God bodies were referred to them as savages. You know what I'm saying? That's how they wanted to give it up. So, you know, the blood shit had just came right on time for I guess for them. You know, but I just feel like if the guard bodies took more of an aggressive approach as far as blacks is concerned in the prisons at that time, you know, I don't think it would have really been a need for that. I think that could have curbed the whole blood movement.
but you know, Pistol Pete was looked at as a religious figure, so to speak. For what I learned in Trenton, like they had a saying saying, "In Pete we trust." Like you will say, "In God we trust."
Yeah.
Like they looked at him as a religious figure. Like they really like dedicated themselves to a craft of how he thought what he did, like everything. Like the initiations were much more tough. Like you had to actually have a body in it and stuff like that. Because of Sex, Money, Murder, that was the reason why a lot of my family, including my grandmother, actually came up out of Trenton, New Jersey. We all moved up out of there because of when they moved in there in that area. man, like the stuff we heard of was like unimaginable. Like Trenton used to be like you can walk down the street at least, you can go to the corner store, you can go to this apartment, that apartment, you can go to the park. Man, ever since we moved out, which was about 97, I lived in Chambersburg on Division Street. Where I grew up was Hermitage in West State, which is right in the heart of sex, money, murder. Like Hermitage, West State, and that goes into Stuyvesant. That whole going to downtown Trenton, man, it totally changed. It got so bad that I heard, this is the rumor that I heard. My uncle, he's a fireman there for the city of Trenton, and he told me that it got so bad that they had something called Bloody Tuesdays or something, or Bloody Thursdays, Bloody Tuesdays, where these dudes just roam the streets, and if they found anybody that either they had a problem with or they just wasn't getting along with or whatever, they dropped them. And they went out on either, I don't remember if it was a Tuesday or a Thursday, they would go out and they would do this. So from my family perspective, it just got extremely bad, man, real bad. Like Trenton used to have gangs where like at least they stood for something. Like I know my dad back when he used to roll with a gang and stuff when he was younger, he told me that the gangs were more so like they will have a purpose. It'll either be like an activism or something a part of it. Like for black people, like you guys are talking about right now, like more spiritual, more something constructive of the body, building up the body and things of that nature. Like martial arts and all that mess. But then like, man, when those dudes rolled through, I say they became heavy, I would say around 98, 99, right before we, right after we got out of there. And then whatever they was doing there just caused like most of my extended family to move out of there. So
yeah, and the thing, and you know the crazy thing is like at that time on Rikers Island, the guard bodies, they had reputations for being really nice with their hands. Like most of the dudes that knew certain fighting styles like the 52 hand block and all that, a lot of that was created by guard bodies. You know, that was their whole thing. You know, guard body, like blacks in jail at that time, they'd beat you up. But the Latins was known for cutting people. And it's like the Bloods, they adopted that shit. So they started cutting niggas more than the Latinos was cutting niggas. You know what I'm saying? That put a lot of fear in a lot of people. They, when I went to the island, you know, the guards didn't really fuck with the Bloods like that. You know what I'm saying? They preferred not to really be associated with them. They was quicker to make an alliance with a Latin gang than with the Bloods. Because they looked at the Bloods as just savage. You know what I'm saying? The way they was moving.
And they got gold and black like kings and shit, huh?
Right.
Well, the Kings got gold and black like them. It is, but that's a Chicago gang and shit. But that's interesting though. You know, me on the outside from Chicago. That's what confused me. I would have been like, I'm like, damn, why New York ain't all God body? You know what I'm saying? That's what I would have thought. You know, I would have thought that the whole, not no blood shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought it would have, especially how, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, you know how y'all got y'all little swag, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I understand though, shit. Motherfuckers gotta figure out something to stick together. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers ain't getting no love from that side. You know what I'm saying? And hey, at the same time, shit, like you say, shit, Godbody should have probably been spanking their ass on the outside too. You know what I'm saying? Or on some alliance shit to try to organize it, or probably lend them some structure in the sense of like, man, y'all should probably tone it down on this side, and you know, you can still do what you gotta do, but you know, get your bread and whatever, you know, if he is doing some dirt, but, you know, as far as, you know, terrorizing your own community and shit like that, you know, you don't do no shit like that, you did. So,
Yeah, The blood shit caught on real fast. It was a lot of niggas was more prone to want to do that than be a god body. You know what I'm saying? They like, I could get with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they really, and you know, the numbers grew fast. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of thorough niggas, they was with that shit. Like, yeah, you know, I'm feeling this shit. Like this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, a lot of dudes, they just wasn't feeling that whole, you know, how much the earth weighed and
Ain't fucking with all that shit, man. We trying to get some bread.
right.
Some bread. Lock this shit down. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like the Latinos, man. It ain't like they the ones who like, or the Hispanics, they're kind of kept y'all, kind of made y'all get into some gangbanging shit. I don't really, cause I ain't never take New York as no gangbanging that. It's like, to me, it looked like from here, it was like, I was a shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, motherfuckers in New York just get some money and hustle, slick talk, fast talk. They just, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm thinking it's a Jay-Z. You did? Not no Blicky and you know, all the rest and shit. I'm like, damn, this shit new to me and shit. So, I don't know. I wouldn't. It just, like you said, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a nigga in there, cause you know I was one of those New York cats that liked to listen to music from other places. You know what I'm saying? Mainly the West Coast and all that.
Right.
So you know, you always had pockets of niggas like that from New York that kind of wasn't feeling, you know, the direction that New York was going in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shiny suit shit was fucking, you know, all that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas that respected that West Coast shit and things like that. So, you know, it wasn't that big of a surprise. But, you know, that's just the way it went. And like I said, it wasn't like Bloods wasn't really, you know, certain neighborhoods they was kind of strong. You know, like Soundsview under Pistol Pete. I mean, other, you know, that dude, they was strong. But, you know, it wasn't like how it is in LA and shit. I mean, even on the island, like a lot of dudes, I used to feel bad for because they would think that if they turn blood, they gonna automatically get respect or have protection. And it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? You was blood, that's cool, but if you pussy, you pussy. You still ain't getting on this phone. You know what I'm saying?
And you made yourself a target.
Right, like you made yourself into a doja because now some nigga that's claiming to be your superior then send you on a mission. You know what I'm saying? That can get you in more trouble or might even get your ass toe up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know, shit, that shit winning on that side out there, man. Shit, you got the dude 6ix9ine, blood and hard. He the king of New York. You know what I'm saying? So you know that shit gonna spread more through more generations, cause Shorty saying that shit.
You talk about the dude with the multicolored hair?
Yeah, the rainbow color.
Where is he from? Like, what's up with him? Like, how did he come out to be? Who is he?
He from Brooklyn, and he's a dude that do the music. I guess he found a little gimmick, and it shit was working for him. And you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't want to hate the little nigga. They like, I don't want to hate this nigga. What he do? You know what I'm saying? It's like he got rainbow hair. It's like, all right, so what? You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, man, it's a lot of different feelings about that situation because you know it is what it is.
Entertainment.
It's entertainment, you know what I'm saying? But hey man, like everybody know New York hip hop Ain't really popping like that. I don't really like his music though. I think it's a lot of other dudes that's a lot better, but that's how he coming. Like he coming. That's how he on it. You know, he a little nigga that's on it like that. You know, he blood. You know, he got some older blood dudes that's really from the street that's running with him and kind of holding him down. You know, and so it's a weird situation. But I'm cool. I'm sure Shorty know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the little nigga, he seem to know what he's doing, and it seem to be working for him. You know, I think I mean I'm pretty sure if any one of us met him, we wouldn't, you know, feel like, oh, this is a little corny nigga. Like you probably be like, nah, this little nigga lit. You know what I'm saying? A little cool.
Oh shit. Yeah, nah, I'm cool. I wouldn't even be like, man, he over there. Like, alright, that's what's up. You can stay over there. Cool. What's up, man? Essay, he doing this thing for the other brown people. You know what I'm saying? I guess. You know, so.
A little dirty,
The two biggest bloods is Puerto Rican from New York. That's the crazy part. The two biggest bloods. Oh, yeah, Cardi B and 6.
Yeah. Puerto Rican. I mean, but
she Dominican. Yeah, she Dominican and Trini, and he Puerto Rican and Mexican. Hell no.
Think about New York. I know that little nigga had it rough because Mexicans don't really rock out here. You know what I'm saying? So I know that nigga had that stipulation growing up and all that. But
he said,
he a little nigga. You know, he right though with a lot of shit he be saying. A lot of niggas try to why you know what I mean? Why niggas worried about that?
But he getting away, man. Come on now, let's just be real, man. Dude, just because if he was a BAM, he wouldn't get no attention like that. Like, cause we can go with Books or whatever his name, Boom or whatever whatever the fuck, dude. And he look what he got to do to get some views. You know, this motherfucker, you know, damn near got an extensive record for going to stores, you know, throwing shit just for views, just to get his little rap career started. Whereas, you know, I think motherfuckers is still at all like, oh, it's Mexican, a Puerto Rican that's rapping, and what the fuck, you know, it's like you know, motherfuckers more of a like amazed of anything, cause the last Mexican or Puerto Rican from New York. Shit. Come on, you know, everybody think of Pun. We definitely ain't gonna put him in that category. That's the legend. But I'm just saying, like.
I mean, but see the thing is, see in New York.
And it's him, it's them, and white people mostly buying this shit too. And then he got a goon of BAMs about to fight more BAMs. That's the thing I'm looking at is like, man, dude.
The thing is this though. Like, that little nigga, like that Puerto Rican black shit in New York is different than anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like them niggas is black too, in a sense. To a lot of niggas, you know what I'm saying? The niggas grow up dirt poor, fucked up in the hood right next door to us.
And why he ain't a whole bunch of Latin kings with this? You know what I'm saying? I can respect that though. You did. Then it could be like that. You know what I'm saying? Then I could be like, damn, you know, the Mexicans, that's what he should have been, a motherfucking Latin king. And I could really respect this gangster. But it's cool though, shit.
Most of them Latin king niggas ended up turning blood. You know, another thing, like Latin king nigga, like once that blood shit started, a lot of Spanish niggas, you know, all of a sudden they was blood. Splashing other Spanish niggas, you know what I'm saying? That shit is funny, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the politics is really different. The way shit is set up over here is just different. But,
right.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, like, little nigga, he ain't doing nothing different than any other of these niggas out there. It's like he a little German, but all these little niggas like this whole new culture, whatever, is bugged out. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these little niggas is crazy, man. This shit different.
Right.
He ain't doing nothing different from who none of them other niggas. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ran with their head and all that. He trolling. You know what I mean? Shit is just different now with that. You know? So it's like people expect motherfuckers to hate and love niggas. And it's like, wow, for what? Like, what he do? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck did he do? Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
hey, shit, he just, you know, he get his, he doing what he's supposed to do as far as marketing. Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shit, you see, we talking about his ass, so hey, get money, you know? And if he challenging people to test his game, ain't that the name of the tour?
I don't know.
I think that Test My Gangster tour or something.
Yeah, you better baptize. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy.
Oh shit, so it's like, hey, if you taunting motherfuckers, then hey, it ain't even about hate. It's about, hey, shit. And it's the fucked up thing about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say aside from him, right? Like, throw him out the video. Like, Lil Baby and all these other motherfuckers, you know, they saying the same shit. Like, we ain't checking in either. And it's like, Bruce Springsteen, whatever the fuck his name, man, they gotta check in with other motherfucking whatever.
But checking the who? Like, checking the who? That's my whole thing. It's like, all right, if I'm going to another city and I know niggas in that city, yeah, I'm gonna check in with them because I know them. I'm gonna want to come through and, you know what I'm saying? I want, you know, my shit to be right when I come through. So yeah, I'm gonna check in with my niggas. But if you going into another city, you don't know niggas in that city, who the fuck is you checking in with? You know what I'm saying? It's like, checking for what? You dig? Like, you know. So it's like, I don't know, like with like.
So should he check in? So if he go to Detroit,
would he supposed to find niggas to rob him, and then be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you the nigga I choose to give my money to. Like,
it ain't even about him. What is check in now? Like the whole checking in situation. I feel you. Like, yeah, you say, you know, motherfucker, you want your shit shut up right. Everything smooth.
That's some shit you do when you going in. Because nigga, if I'm going in another city, I'm going in about my business. I'm going in on some low shit. You might not even know I came through. You know what I'm saying? I did a show, got my money. You know what I mean? But if I'm checking in, I'm just hounding that nigga that I know from that city that's thorough.
Right.
And they like, all right, we know you coming through. We gonna hold you down. This, you know what I mean? You let us know what you want to do when you out here. We here for you, man. And then maybe you do something for us, like, you know what I mean? You pop, like, man. You know, yeah.
Right, like he did when he went to Cali. Supposedly, you checked in with who you checked in with, and fuck everybody else. I could dig it. The whole check-in situation, I could dig it. You know, shit, check in to who.
I mean, the funny thing about this little nigga is he just be making a lot of people look crazy because they be coming at the nigga, and it's like the shit. It's not even that serious, and then he point that out, and niggas be looking dumb. Like, you know what this little nigga is? It's like, nigga, you ain't got 100 niggas for me. I got rainbow hair, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stupid. It's like, you know what I mean?
That's what's up, though. Shit, I want to watch it. The movie. Shit, fuck it, it's entertaining. Shit, it is what it is. That's all I can say, man. That's all I can say. It is what it is.
That shit funny than a motherfucker. But you got this little stupid nigga. He in New York talking about he the king of New York. Like, hey, niggas ain't paying that little nigga no mind. Like, he out in Cali talking about Test My Gangster. This nigga trolling the shit out of everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's something like that.
Showing up to Hotel D, and he probably ain't nowhere in sight. Like, look at these goofy motherfuckers here. Look at they ass.
He's a little nigga doing all that stupid shit. He a little nigga. Like a little young stupid nigga. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, it is what it is. On some real shit. Shit, we'll see that movie play out. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit. We done seen it before. Or, you know, at the same time, that's probably why ain't nothing happening to his ass. That's why I think about it. Shit, you know, ain't happened to his ass because motherfuckers know the rich. It's like, that's stupid as fuck, man. Come on.
Ain't nobody telling niggas to jump out the window like that, B. At the end of the day, like ain't nobody telling Mexican nigga to make a video and be like, "Yo, you can't come out here." Then the nigga went out there and laughed at you. Like nobody told you to do that. Nobody told the Casanova nigga to do what he did. And then this little nigga got some blood niggas to press him. You know what I mean? Like ain't nobody telling you to do that, B. Leave that little nigga alone. Cause you gonna lose more than he is. They expect him to lose. He got a rainbow head.
Right.
You go playing with that little nigga, and you know what I mean? Shit don't turn out right for you, man. You look extra stupid. Like that's all I'm saying. Like leave that little nigga alone. That nigga come with the times. It's gonna be like that. You got all type of clown ass niggas out. It's just that nigga just. You know, for whatever reason, you know what I mean? The people chose him. People, that's how that shit go. You can't force yourself on these people.
I don't think they chose him because he ain't selling out no 20 and 30,000 event. Like he ain't selling out Madison Square Garden. I think he just doing the numbers as far as like downloads and.
I don't know what that little nigga doing, man. It's just like this YouTube. It's just like this YouTube shit. Some of these YouTube channels, some of these niggas, they just catch fire for whatever reason. Nigga got 10 million subscribers. The people chose that person for whatever reason. And million niggas was like, I'm gonna fuck with this. You know what I mean? Like that's how it be. When the wave comes, you just gotta be ready to ride that shit. But you know what I'm saying? The wave came that nigga way. He's surfing that shit. Like it just is, you know what I mean? But the people do choose, like who they want to fuck with. You can't be mad. Like I can't be mad at Polite if the people chose to get that nigga $50,000. You got all these niggas hate. I think niggas be hating. You know what I'm saying? Because you wish you could scam the people like that, but they ain't fucking with you. Like you know what I'm saying, bro? Like it's like the people choose who they want, man. It's just how that shit is, bro. He chose that little nigga.
What's up?
Man, troll. Money and troll.
Hey. That's the age though now, man. Shit. Motherfuckers be getting bread off that shit. It is what it is.
Yo, bro, that shit ain't no different from niggas. Like, alright, let's take the shot for instance, right?
Right.
You got all these young niggas beefing with each other over Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, right? And they rappers and shit. And the niggas is so scary that when they see each other, they just automatically just start shooting. You know what I'm saying? So nigga down. So, like it's still clown shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's generation shit. Like it's what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Well, it's life entertaining art and art entertain it's art emulating life and life you know emulating art. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like shit supposedly art, you know. Now to the young people, you know, that is art, the music that they listen to, and that shit got their ass, you know, bamboozled into some thinking that shit is reality. and they go out there and try to do that shit for real. You know, shit. I mean, shit. Atlanta has influenced Chicago like a motherfucker. So I can't say that I can't understand where New York. You know, it's just that it's just something new. Cause shit, a whole different. The South and influenced my city like a motherfucker and shit. So, hey, motherfuckers be feeling that shit. Motherfuckers gonna catch them waves.
But what's crazy?
Blood.
The Bloods in New York is totally different from how the shit is set up in LA.
I know they more like down there like set up like vice lords and I don't know cause they be I don't know cause like it's more like they take Vice Lord and Blackstone lit from Chicago and then mix that shit together with the Blood last name though.
Like you take the Bloods from New Jersey, right? They really fuck with the Bloods in California. So they sets out there in Jersey is sanctioned from Cali. They should have set up the same way. New York is different. Like it's just New York. They shit different from that Cali shit totally.
Nah, it's the same way in the Midwest. You gotta think like in Chicago, even though that's where that shit come from, motherfuckers when I go other places and shit, they be tripping like man, cause Chicago insane. It's like everybody against everybody type of situation and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's the same way in New York. I can understand how motherfuckers in New York like man, we ain't honoring no, we don't give a fuck. We just gonna take whatever we gonna take and gonna do that shit, and ain't nobody pulling up. You feel what I'm saying? So cause the little shorties out this way, that's why they insane. They like man, we renegade, we out, oh we insane, we going against the grain. And ain't nobody gonna do shit. You know what I'm saying? The Indians running the shit now. Fuck Chief, and that's what New York basically saying to the rest of the West Coast. Like fuck Chief. We doing our own thing out here. You know, shit like you say, God body ain't hold us down. We found the bond between us and we fucking doing what we gonna do. You did.
Right. God bodies was like the biggest. If it was a gang, it was them. You know what I'm saying? They was moving like a gang. Like them niggas was gangster on the island. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to be God body. I remember my man Divine, the house I was in Full Main, C74 at the time. I was like 16. My nigga Divine was like, yo, you should turn God. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, for what, nigga? I'm neutral all day. I ain't with none of that shit. I'm WPG, nigga. Wolf Pack Gangster. That was my clique in the street. Like, nigga, that's what I am. He like, nah, my nigga, think about it like this. You gonna have mad dozers. There's mad God bodies and you gonna have dozers. It's already full, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not fasting, nigga. He like, you ain't got to fast. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just God. I'm like, all right.
Right.
But that shit came with rules. If you wasn't thorough like that, you know what I'm saying? That shit was like a gang.
But it's like that. That's what a lot of motherfuckers need though. See, some motherfuckers, like you say, went with that shit, and I can understand to an extent why motherfuckers like man, fuck that shit. If they ain't down with the laws and policies, and willing to take violations and probations if you get out of order, then hey,
right. That's how
just,
that shit was.
it's like. It's a page from what? It's a page from the shit, the Torah and the Islam. You know what I'm saying? The Quran. This shit go back centuries, motherfucker. It is what it is. It's like, hey, this the lay of the land in this land if you can't, and that's even in the society that we live in. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, man, shit. That's rules and policies. You know what I'm saying? So I could dig it though. I still understand it to a level that man shit everybody got they tribe, you feel what I'm saying? It's just about being constructive with that motherfucker. The Bloods in New York, huh?
Yeah, and even the guards used to beef over funny shit. Like I seen a nigga get wailed on. I seen guard bodies wail on another guard body because the nigga named himself Fall. Oh, his name was Father. He was like, yo, you gotta change your name.
Oh,
Nigga,
GP, huh?
yeah, they like, you gotta change that name. He's like, I ain't changed my name. That nigga name was Father. They was like, nigga, you too young to be Father. Nigga, you can't have that name. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a violation. God body niggas, like the God bodies used to roll like a gang. You know what I'm saying? We used to control houses, control telephone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You knew if this was a God house or a blood house or a king house. That's how that shit rolling.
So you think that it was because the God bodies wasn't as savage as the savages?
Nah, the gods was giving it up, but like like I said, like it was still
Said that.
it was niggas that just wasn't with that shit, dude. Like niggas just was like you know what I'm saying, like you said, they was just also they was the gods wasn't as savage, you know what I'm saying? So like dudes, you had dudes that was just on some shit like nigga, I'm not turning the god body. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that shit is. All I know is that when these Spanish niggas play with me, I'm, I'm ripping his fucking face off. So when that, so when you had that one nigga that was like, nigga, I'm blood, nigga, I got homies in Cali, da da da, and then he started multiplying. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was feeling that shit. Like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I like that shit. You know, niggas start terrorizing Spanish niggas.
You dig it, man. You dig it. Gladiator school.
Yeah, the guard body niggas, they was like they had a like the Spanish niggas and the guard niggas. The Spanish niggas wouldn't mess with guard bodies. You know what I'm saying? Of Muslims, it was an understanding. So if they had like a house, either the guards, it was a guard house, but they'd tolerate the niggas somewhat, or if it was a Spanish house, they'd tolerate if it was a nice amount of guard niggas in there, they'd tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? But if you was a neutral nigga, you know what I'm saying, you just was out there. You know what I'm saying? You was just out there. Our people don't stick together like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, we do. We just got our tribes, bro.
Right.
Got our tribes, bro. Yeah. Shit.
Like certain neutral niggas was rocking though, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like just cause it's like certain niggas went through the alley and they ain't joined nothing. You know what I'm saying? These are just thorough and you know what I'm saying, by their own right. And that's what we really respect. You know what I'm saying out here. Like that's what we hold the highest esteem. You know what I'm saying? The nigga that can do that. You know what I'm saying? We respect that shit the most. You know what I'm saying? They were both to go and get respect from all them groups. Ain't nobody play with that nigga. You know what I'm saying? They gave it up.
About that business and that bread. So, shit. I could do
That shit is a hellhole though. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was in there at a young age. That shit was black, petty, niggas petty, niggas fighting with dumb shit, end up torturing niggas. You know what I'm saying? Everything revolved around commissary. That shit corny.
and dig it. Shit. I wonder, I don't know. Like you say, that shit ain't no, that's like Jay-Z and motherfucking, shit, who we talking about? I don't want to throw it under the bus. I was just saying as far as, I guess that's a Biggie and Pop conversation and shit, you know? You feel what I'm saying? Cause it's like, shit, One was hitting and talking that political shit. You know what I'm saying? And then one came out like, man, I ain't even really on that. I feel
I
you,
think
but it's
I
on that
think
hustle.
Big was more street smart than Pac. You know what I'm saying? Like Pac, to me, Tupac was naive when it came to the street. He didn't know the street thing like that. Like you listen to a lot of his songs, it get you pumped up and hyped. But he ain't really talking about no real street shit like that. He got some joints though, you know.
That's
He
why I
came.
say that whole Gods and Bloods that's the same conversation. You know, motherfuckers talking that shit, but they really talking that knowledge shit, and they ain't really about, to an extent, as far as on some, or as they would have did it before the Bloods did. You know what I'm saying? Was that, it was for more on some positives and shit. So it's like, on some real street shit, them Bloods was on some Biggie shit. Like, man, we really about that. You know what I'm saying? And it just, it's two different conversations, two different groups. It's like damn near like the 5%ers are like the bastards of the NOI. Ain't that what it is basically, right?
Like kind of not really be like them niggas. They had to do man Clarence X. You know what I'm saying? And his whole thing. I used to feel that shit though because they whole thing was like you go. So I used to roll with that shit heavy. Like nigga, black man is God. You know what I'm saying? Like so like that shit was to me that shit was popping.
Right.
I couldn't get with the Muslim shit because it's like you believe in something other than yourself. You know what I mean? That's how I used to look
Right.
at it. But I like the 5% joint because, but now they had like they had their own setup. But you gotta remember the niggas was strong in like the 70s and all that,
Right.
and you know by the 80s they was still strong. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
On the island, I don't know, man. Like the Latin
So that's
niggas.
what it was. They just basically they didn't modernize. Cause I'm looking like like Chicago games. First it was Stones, then they evolved to El Rookins, then they evolved back to Black P Stone. Matter of fact, it was Black P Stone Ranger, El Rookie, then evolved back to Black P Stone. So and then like GD's, it was Gangsta Disciple, then evolved to Growth and Development. You know what I'm saying, and so forth. So it's like on that side, it evolved, but it wasn't like no, it didn't stay together on some shit. Cause it seemed like, to me, it's like, yeah, I don't know, like you say, the Clarence X, didn't he come from the Nation of Islam though, right?
Yeah, he came from the Nation of Islam. But for
And,
whatever reason, he just started teaching that, black people was God. I mean, like they was God.
and his thing was he kicked it in the streets, right? And
Yeah.
preached. And that's how he got his squad up. So it's like, shit, I think motherfuckers probably enforced too much on the other shit. When really the foundation was shit, we supposed to, both ends, feet kind of ends. I don't know, but how you talk about it, it was situated like that, but I don't know.
The Bloods just focused more on
On,
being a
on
savage.
that
You know what I'm
goon.
saying? Like it was just like the niggas used to, you know what I'm saying? They used to have words. Like they had slang that was different. Like when they was about to cut a nigga, they say, yo, I'm about to eat this nigga food. You know what I'm saying? The niggas that wasn't built like that used to scare niggas. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
people coming in there, not really understanding that shit. That whole call, that shit scared nigga to death. Nigga say that, about to eat that nigga food. Next thing you know, nigga whole face wide open. Niggas just rip that nigga whole shit open. You know what I mean? Love
Right,
that. It look like a nigga eating a nigga food. For real.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so like that shit was just like them niggas was just different. You know what I mean? How them niggas
He was giving it up.
That shit was impact. You know what I'm saying? In gladiator school, on some real shit. So gang numbers and shit. I can dig it. On some real shit. On some real shit.